before I go into the NOC, I just thought maybe a little bit of an introduction as to what UCIe is and how it, what's the benefit UCIe or a chiplet brings into the industry actually. Why did they bring that in here, right? So now here we have a package here and we are going to build a package here. So we have a CPU. Let's say it's a Gen 1 CPU somebody has built, and if they want to communicate outside, so you have the PCIe controller sitting in there, and then it talks to the world outside. A simple a simple configuration type of thing, right? But if you think of it, PCIe, whether you take almost any CPU manufacturer and they have a new generation of CPU on it, probably on a new node every year. They change, you have a new CPU every year and maybe nodes change every 2 years. Whereas PCIe generations here, they change maybe every 3 years to 5 years. 3 to 5 years you have a new generation. Now, every year if you want to take this PCIe design, you need to like if you're going to changing nodes, let's say from 7 nanometer to 5 nanometer, now you need a new PHY, you need a new controller, you need to resynthesize the whole design and you need to rebuild the design. Even though this interface, let's say Gen 5 right now at 32 GTS is not going to change much. Majority of the customers in the world are going to just use Gen 5 for 3 years. Why do you need to redo this? So now, the benefit of that is now you take this whole thing out, you just build a CPU and you have the PCIe sitting outside and you connect it to the outside world. And now you just connect the CPU to this using a UCIe interface. Many companies have already been doing this for some years. UCIe is just the new way of standardizing it such that everyone across the industry does it the same way. So this is why it's a chiplet now. The concept of chiplet comes because of this. And now what you can do is, let's say in a server you probably have some post processor or some FPGA to do some specific custom processing, right? That is also connected through a UCIe to the main CPU. So this is the benefit of UCIe. Now let's say for this CPU I have an application where instead of PCIe I need to, before that, now just the concept that I was talking about, that now next generation of CPU that has to be introduced to the market, I don't need to change the CPU or the post processor. I take this one out and then I just have a new package with the second generation of CPU in there, right? And now take this on the flip side, instead of PCIe, let's say in the automobile industry they don't care for PCIe, they want Ethernet. So you plug it out and then instead of PCIe you have an Ethernet. So each of these things, you know, some companies they call these chiplets, some companies they call these tiles. It depends on how you want to name it. So chiplet is the new name, right? So these are all chiplets sitting in one single package which are connected using UCIe. So UCIe is a standard which came from Intel, donated their EMIB standard, and that is the base for UCIe. It's still not finalized how it will be. Now let's say there is a combination where you need PCIe and Ethernet, and there you plug these out and then you can have one UCIe connected to Ethernet and one connected to PCIe. So that is the typical application where you would actually, how the chiplet would be used.